you've got an offer that works. But the hustle to keep selling that offer and keep your business growing, it's not feeling very sustainable right now. If I was starting from scratch and building my business on just a few hours a week in the margins of motherhood, this is exactly how I'd build an evergreen funnel that brings in sales while I'm offline, homeschooling my kids, playing outside, and being more present in my home. Hi, I'm Jordan, and if we haven't met, I help Christian moms in business scale simply using funnels that serve their people well without burning you out in the process. If you're ready to build a life-first business that allows you to steward your time and your talents well, this is for you. So there are three main things that I would do if I was going to build a funnel that allows my business to run and grow in 5 or so hours a week. The first thing I would do is to focus on a proven offer, not a new one. So I would build my funnel around something that I've already sold well. So that might be a one-on-one service, an offer. That could have been a live launch that I did and probably exhausted me. But I wouldn't start from scratch building a new offer. Now, you might say, okay, well, how can I build a funnel around a one-on-one service if I want to work less hours or not take a bunch of sales or discovery calls? So there's two ways to think about this. One, your funnel can act essentially as your sales team to get you new booked clients for your one-on-one offer. I have a lot of clients that have a great one-on-one offer that they want to keep doing. They just are exhausted by the process of continuing to create a ton of content, to get on sales calls, to do all the selling themselves. And so building a funnel to automate that process to lead them into the proven offer is what works for their business. Now, there might be some of you, and this is where I found myself when I was doing all one-on-one services and coaching, is that I was getting really burnt out by all of the time that I was spending serving people in my business. And I wanted to turn my offer into something that would still serve my people really well without trading time for money. And so what I did is I didn't reinvent the wheel and create a totally new offer or service. I repurposed a proven offer I had into something that was more scalable. So for me, when I first started, it was taking a one-on-one offer and turning it into a group program, and then taking a group program and turning it into an evergreen self-study course. There are a lot of ways to repurpose your proven offer into something a little bit more passive and scalable. And this is something I actually walk you through on day 3 of my free funnel building challenge. So if you're not sure how to pivot your proven offer into something more scalable, be sure to join the free challenge to get more in-depth training on that. But that's the first thing that I would focus on is choose your most profitable or your favorite proven offer to start with. One that you know exactly who you serve, how you serve them, and the transformation or solution that you provide. That's step 1. The second thing I would do is choose one top of funnel strategy to keep it as simple as possible. Now, if you're not sure exactly what a funnel is in that 5-day challenge, that's what we talk about right on day 1 is the basics of building a funnel. But the first step of every funnel is your free opt-in. And so that might look like a webinar, it might look like a mini course, it may look like a quiz, it might look like an ebook, a template, a checklist. There are so many options here, and one isn't necessarily better than the other. My recommendation for you is to pick the format that matches your audience and their needs. So if I'm a lactation consultant and my audience is moms with newborns who are learning to breastfeed for the first time, then maybe a live webinar where they have to choose the time and sit down at their computer in between getting no sleep and trying to breastfeed a newborn, that's probably not the best fit. They might prefer an on-demand 15-minute training that they can watch whenever is most convenient for them. So while there's not a general rule for why you should choose one type of freebie over the other, it is important to think through who your audience is, what their needs are, and the value that you want to provide. So if you think about it, the information that I could share with you in a free ebook will look different than the information that I could share with you over the course of a 5-day video challenge, right? And so you want to think about what your end offer is and the level of investment, both time and money for that offer, and what's going to make the most sense at the top of that journey to lead someone really naturally to attract the right kind of person with the problems and the transformation and the desires that you offer at the end of your funnel. Another thing that I want you to think about that I don't think a lot of people consider when building their funnel is, how do you want to show up? How much time do you have to build your funnel and to build your freebie? And I want to encourage you that it does not need to be fancy. You don't need a professional podcast studio. One of my favorite things to do is to go to our local library and book one of their little telephone booth pods and record my content in there. Sometimes as a busy mom, that's the only place that's quiet for me to record a video. But for our very first funnel that we ever built, we actually did a 5-day video challenge. My husband and I did it together. We did not have a home office, anything fancy at all. Our library didn't even have the pods that we could use. So we took our camera, one of those like gorilla tripods that you can kind of push around something, and we went to a trail, to a cranberry bog 5 minutes from where we lived, and put that gorilla tripod around a tree, and we filmed our content in a cranberry bog. And honestly, it was one of our highest converting opt-ins because we showed up and delivered value in a way that really connected with our clients, showed them who we were and how we were different from everyone else out there, and more importantly, showed them we knew how to solve their problem and get the transformation that they desired. So all that to say, when you're thinking about your top of funnel strategy, simplicity is going to beat complexity every single time. And honestly, for you, this is how you're going to steward your time well, right? We're not trying to make our businesses more complicated. And a lot of people think about funnels that way. They think a funnel is adding more work into their business when it's just the opposite. Now, don't get me wrong, a funnel does take work to set up. And in my program, I show people how to build their funnels in just 30 days. But when you can commit to setting that up one time, that funnel is going to give you so much more margin and time and freedom in your business moving forward. That is what's going to help you to scale in a more simple and sustainable way. So I really want to encourage you, you don't need a super complicated funnel to make this all work. Choose one opt-in and keep it simple, keep it valuable, keep it relevant to your audience and to that end offer. And that's what's going to make the biggest difference in choosing the right freebie for your funnel. And now the third thing I really want you to think about that is probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see is I want you to map out your funnel with the end in mind. To start with what your end goal is going to be. And by end goal, I mean, what is the conversion that you're looking for? What is the offer or the service that you are selling? What is the point of your funnel? What's the goal? So when you think about the steps of a funnel, this is the final step, but you need to know that first so that the rest of your funnel makes sense. And this is why I actually start off my 5-day funnel challenge talking about the end, because you could have a really great fancy funnel, but if you're not building it around the right offer for your audience and you're not getting the right people in there and nurturing them in a way that makes sense to that end offer, then it's not going to convert. And don't get me wrong, I love funnel hacking people. If you don't know the term funnel hacking, Russell Brunson coined it, I don't know how many years, probably over a decade ago with ClickFunnels, but essentially it's opting into somebody else's funnel, someone else's freebie, seeing how they run their funnel. That's funnel hacking. I love doing that. I think it's really great for inspiration, but your funnel should not look like a carbon copy of someone else's. It needs to be built with your business and your offer and your audience in mind. And so the best way to do that is actually to work back from your purchase decision, work back from the end goal of that offer or that service that you want them to convert and say yes to, and then build the rest of the funnel around that. So in summary, if I was going to build my first funnel that can run my business without me with very limited time as a stay-at-home mom, I would focus on my proven offer, not a new one. I would make sure I keep my top of funnel super simple and choose one opt-in. And I would map out the entire funnel. I would start with the end in mind. Now, if you are ready to get your funnel built, to finally take it off your to-do list and to do it all without stress or without guesswork and in the margins of your day, then I would love for you to join my free 5-day funnel challenge. It is designed for moms just like you who are building their businesses in the margins of motherhood, who want to steward their gifts and their time well, and still scale their business without sacrificing their presence at home. You can click the link below this video or go to jordanjones.co/challenge to join. And remember, you do not need more time. You do not need a more complicated business. You need a clear and simple funnel strategy that you can follow to grow your business more simply and more sustainably. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope to see you in the free 5-day challenge. And if this video was helpful and encouraging to you, go ahead and click that subscribe button so you can watch more of my videos helping moms grow their business in the margins of motherhood.